One country, one constitution, but two different criminal laws. In northern Nigeria, it's the Penal Code. In southern Nigeria, it's the Criminal Code. How is that even possible? Why didn't Nigeria unify its laws after independence? And could this division still be affecting the country today? This is the story behind Nigeria's divided justice system. Before Nigeria became a single country in 1914, there was nothing like one unified legal system. Different regions operated independently, each with its own way of life and its own rules. In the north, Islamic law had already taken root through powerful empires like the Sokoto Caliphate. Law and religion were deeply connected, shaping how people lived, married, traded, and resolved disputes. In the south, things were very different. Communities relied more on customary laws, traditions passed down through generations. These laws were not written in books but lived in culture, enforced by elders and community leaders. There was no single Nigeria, and definitely no single law. Then came the British. When they colonized Nigeria, they didn't try to completely unify the system. Instead, they ruled the north and south in different ways. In the north, they used indirect rule. They governed through emirs and respected existing Islamic structures. This allowed them to maintain control without disrupting deeply rooted traditions. In the south, however, they ruled more directly. They introduced Western education, English legal systems, and modern courts. This decision would shape Nigeria's future in a way no one could fully predict. Because instead of building one system, they built two. In southern Nigeria, British influence was strong. English law became the foundation of the legal system. Over time, this developed into what we now know as the Criminal Code, a structured, written system based on British legal principles. But in the north, things were handled with caution. The British understood that removing Islamic law completely could lead to serious resistance, even rebellion. So instead of abolishing it, they created a compromise. That compromise became the Penal Code. The Penal Code was designed to blend modern legal ideas with Islamic values and northern traditions. It was not purely British, and it was not purely Islamic. It was a hybrid system. From that moment on, Nigeria's legal path was permanently divided. Religion made everything even more complicated, and the north was largely Muslim, while the south had a mix of Christianity and traditional beliefs. Trying to impose one uniform law across both regions would have been extremely risky. It could have sparked conflict, resistance, and instability at a time when the country was still forming its identity. So instead of forcing unity, the colonial system preserved difference. When Nigeria gained independence in 1960, its leaders faced a difficult choice. Should they unify the country under one legal system, or maintain the structure they inherited? At the time, Nigeria was already fragile. Ethnic tensions were high, and regional loyalties were strong. Any drastic change could have pushed the country into crisis. So the leaders chose stability. They kept both systems. The Criminal Code remained in the south, and the Penal Code remained in the north. Today, everything operates under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This constitution allows Nigeria to function as a federal system, where different regions can maintain certain legal differences. That's why both systems still exist today. They are not illegal, and they are not accidental. They are part of how Nigeria manages its diversity. In 1999, another major development added a new layer to the system. Several northern states expanded Sharia law into criminal law. Now, in parts of the north, the Penal Code exists alongside Sharia law, especially for Muslims in certain cases. This made the legal system even more complex, blending multiple traditions into one framework. So the big question remains, is this system a problem? Some people believe it is. They argue that having different laws in one country creates confusion, inequality, and division. Others believe it is necessary. They argue that Nigeria is too diverse for a single legal system to work effectively, and that these differences actually help maintain peace. The truth lies somewhere in between. Imagine Nigeria under one single criminal law. Would it bring unity, or would it create even deeper conflict? In a country with hundreds of ethnic groups, multiple religions, and deeply rooted traditions, the idea of one law for all is not as simple as it sounds. Nigeria does not operate two criminal laws by mistake. It is the result of history, compromise, and survival. The Penal Code and the Criminal Code are more than legal systems. They are symbols of Nigeria's attempt to balance unity with diversity. So now you know the truth. Nigeria's legal system is not broken. It is complex by design. And maybe the real question is not why Nigeria has two laws, but whether one law could ever truly work for everyone. For more content like this, please subscribe, like, and share.